So welcome everyone to day 2 of our morning VLE yoga practice. And we'll just take a moment to get ourselves set up in a comfortable seat. That's how we're going to begin our practice today. So whatever comfortable looks like for you, I say that loosely. Just come into a comfortable seat. And I have a yoga blanket underneath my hips here. If it's possible for you to bring something underneath your sitting bones to help elevate your hips, and then sitting not just on the middle of your blanket, but or your pillow or your meditation cushion, but coming to the very edge so you can feel your pelvis starting to tip forward a little bit. We're coming into an anterior tilt in the pelvis, which helps. First of all, our knees can relax down. We can open up through our psoas a little bit, and it brings us into greater alignment with our spinal column. Okay, so as you're finding yourself there and just connecting in for a moment, if it feels comfortable for you to allow your eyes to come to a close, or just taking a soft gaze somewhere out beyond your mat. And just resting your hands wherever feels comfortable. Palms can be facing down on your knees, or maybe the palms facing up towards the sky can invite a bit more openness, whereas the palms down can bring some more grounding. Maybe you want to bring hands onto your torso, maybe one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. And however you are choosing to be, just letting yourself arrive. And bringing some awareness into your breath. As you inhale through your nose, slow, wide breath filling the container of your body. And exhale in any way that feels most releasing. It can be through your nose, your mouth. You can make a sigh, a tone. Again, inhaling through your nose, slow. And then exhale in any way that feels most releasing. And now I will invite us all to bring a hand or both hands onto your heart. And continuing to breathe that nice, slow and wide breath. And sensing into your aliveness this morning. Breathing in and through your heart. For when we are in the heart, you have no ability to resist the flow of life. I'll say that one more time. When you are in the heart, you have no ability to resist the flow of life. Letting that settle into your heart and settle into your mind, feeling it in your body. And as we move through our practice, moving through the heart, opening through the heart, feeling the flow of our life force, the flow of our movement, anchoring the mind into the heart. And then releasing your hands and just bringing your fingertips down to the earth on either side of your hips. And shifting if you need to make a little shift. We'll be here for another few moments longer. On your next inhale, slowly from the earth, starting to lift your arms up towards the sky, filling your lungs with breath. As you exhale, cactusing your arms, drawing your shoulder blades together. Inhale, press your palms out towards the side, lengthen through your arms. And exhale, slowly floating your fingertips down towards the earth. Again, inhale, soften your joints, reaching up towards the heavens. Exhale, bending at your elbows 90 degrees, shoulder blades drawing together, opening up through your chest, open through your heart. Inhale, pressing out to the side, nice and strong, reaching through your arms. Fingertips can reach up towards the sky. And exhale, we lower all the way back down. Another time just like that. Nice and slow as you breathe in, filling your lungs, reaching up out of your waist. As you exhale, cactusing your arms, really broadening through your chest here. Inhale, pushing out towards the side. And then exhale, floating your fingertips back down towards the earth. And then removing anything that was underneath your sit bones. You can bring your blanket or your pillow, your cushion off to the side. And then standing your knees, so planting your feet onto the earth. Hands can be supported behind you. And taking your feet wide here. And we're going to drop your knees over towards the right, letting your left hip lift off the earth, pressing down through your left hand here. Inhale, we can stand our knees back to center. And your exhale carries you over towards the left. Now, right hip can come up, pressing into your right hand, find some lift. And opening through your hips here. So just moving with your breath in this way. Dropping your knees over to one side. And then the other. Let's bringing some synovial fluid and some lubrication into our hip joints here. Also waking up through the quadriceps and your psoas, your hip flexors. Okay, and taking another round from each side here, so evening yourself out. And then we'll stand your knees and then straighten your legs out long. Hands can still be maybe tented fingers on either side of your hips. Toes are active and flexed towards your face. Even the pinky toe edge side of your foot, draw that towards your face. And so you're really pressing out through your heels and the balls of your feet while drawing your toes towards your face. Nice and active dorsiflex of the foot. Inhale, root to rise up through the crown of your head. Find length and space in your spine. And then as you exhale, slowly starting to walk your fingertips forward, just as far as you want to go here. And you can let your spine round forward as you just relax through your neck and let your forehead melt towards your shins. As you inhale, wave your spine long, lift your gaze. And with your exhale, releasing and softening your head down towards your shins. Breathing here. And then as you inhale, slowly starting to bring yourself back upright. With your exhale, we'll plant our hands, maybe a hand print or two behind our hips to support us, fingertips facing forward. Slowly starting to ground down through your feet. So you're lifting your hips up. So we're finding a reverse plank here. Your gaze can go up towards the sky, or if it feels comfortable on your neck, to let your gaze drop back behind you. Breathing here as you inhale, pressing down through your feet and your hands to lift your hips up towards the sky. Exhale, feeling your strength here in your reverse plank. And then we'll lower ourselves down. And then drawing your right knee in towards your chest, scooting your heel towards your sit bones here. So nice and flexed still through your left foot, active and flexed. Interlacing your hands to the outside of your right shin as you inhale, pulling your heart forward, drawing your shoulder heads down and back. And then as you exhale, we're twisting over to the right. You might hook your left elbow crook onto your knee. Right hand can plant down behind you. Again, as you inhale, growing tall in your spine. And then with your exhale, twisting gently over to the right. Now, everyone pay attention to what's happening in your left leg. I want you all to insert your left femur bone into your hip so you can feel your pelvis leveling, right? So this is going to bring us into a more focused twist within our spine rather than like finding that twist from the pelvis. So you can even play with that. So kind of let your left leg reach out. So kind of let it go. You can reach out through your heel and then pull it back, inserting your leg bone into the pelvis and see how that feels in your body. Let's take one more breath here. Nice full inhale to find even more length in your spine. We'll stay for the exhale. And then coming back to center here. Just let your right knee fall out laterally to the right. Planting your right hand back behind you, we're going to start to sweep open in a sort of side plank here. So sweeping your left fingertips down and around, grounding down through your left foot so you can lift up, arc open, chest towards the sky. And then as you exhale, rounding, sweeping around, coming all the way back down. Let's do that one more time here. Really let this be a sweeping motion as you inhale, sweeping your left fingertips around, and then we open up our heart. Exhale, coming back down. Right leg can come out long. Once again, to meet the left, and just recenter yourself if you need to in the middle of your mat. We're going to bring our left knee up, scooching your heel towards your seat. So now nice and active, flexed right foot. Interlacing your hands on the outside of your left shin. Rooting down through your sit bones as you inhale, pulling your heart forward, lifting up, crown reaching towards the sky. And then twisting with your exhale so left fingertips can plant behind, maybe bringing your right elbow ditch around to help leverage a twist here. Inhale to lift up, bringing space between your vertebrae. And then with the exhale, finding your way into your twist. We'll bring our attention now to our right femur bone. So same thing here, bringing your femur bone into the hip socket so you can level your pelvis here. Isolating your twist into the thoracic spine. One more inhale to reach up through the crown of your head. And with your exhale, twisting a little bit deeper. As you inhale, coming back to center. Now letting your left knee open up laterally to the side. And we'll go through that sweeping motion so you can bring your right or your left hand behind you. Right fingertips start to sweep ahead and around as you ground down through your right foot, lifting up, opening up, finding a stretch here. As you exhale, coming all the way back down, really letting this be as big and nourishing as you want it to be. One more time, inhale, sweeping up, spiraling your sternum towards the sky. Exhale, coming back down. And then from here, we're just going to bring ourselves around to an all fours position. And this can be a great place to bring a blanket underneath your knees if you want a little bit of padding and support. Why do we resist the use of support or leaning into support when it's right there and available to us? Okay, coming into an all fours position here. Toes can be tucked or untucked, so just whatever feels good in your body. Wrists are directly under shoulders, knees directly under hips. Now your index finger, take a look at your index fingers and spin them so that they're facing directly forward, flaring through all 10 fingers. And this brings a slight external rotation in your shoulders. As you inhale, dropping your belly, tilting your tailbone up towards the sky as you lift your gaze, we find cow pose. As you exhale, tucking your tail, hugging into center, rounding deeply through your spine. Cat pose. Inhale, drop your belly, hugging your armpits towards your waist, lifting your gaze. Exhale, pressing the floor away, protracting, rounding through your shoulders, chin comes towards your chest. So moving through some gentle undulations of your spine here with cat and cow, working out the kinks, waking up the spine, our nervous system. Maybe you want to make this movement, come into a barrel roll of the chest. Maybe you wag your tail from side to side. Yeah, let this feel good in your body this morning. And then grounding down through your hands, and we'll come back to a neutral spine. And then we'll straighten one leg and then the other, and we'll find a downward facing dog. So getting your stance here, maybe you have to step your hands forward a handprint or your feet walk back a little bit. But our feet are hip width distance apart, slight micro bend in your knees as you widen your sit bones towards the sky. Hug your front ribs in. Draw your shoulders down and away from your ears. Let your head hang heavy. Taking 3 breaths here. And in those 3 breaths, if you want to lift one heel and then the other, kind of grounding down, feeling and opening up through your body. One more full breath, let it be deep and wide. And exhale to release. Then we'll bring our big toes together to touch at the back of the mat. As you inhale, lifting your right heel up and back, we find a 3-legged down dog. Exhale, leveling your pelvis, looking back to see that all 5 toes are pointed down towards the earth. Take one more inhale here. And then as you exhale, we're going to draw our knee to our nose, pause for a moment, and then step your right foot next to your right thumb. Keeping your back knee raised here. Hands are framing your front foot. Magnetize your pubic bone in and up, activating through your core. As you inhale, slowly lifting your arms forward and up, we find high crescent lunge here. And maybe you need to wiggle walk your right foot out a little bit so that you can find more balance here. As you inhale, growing tall, lifting up out of your waist. With your exhale, softening your shoulders down and away from your ears. Nice, generous bend in your front knee. Feeling your strength here. Take one more inhale. And then with your exhale, ground the back heel down at a 45-degree angle, and we open up, finding warrior 2. And now wiggle walking your front foot so the heel is directly in line with the inner arch of your back foot. Bending deeply in your front knee, tailbone is lengthening down towards the earth. Inhale, reaching out through your fingertips. And exhale, softening your shoulders down. Flipping your front palm as you inhale, reach forward, shifting your ribs forward. And then exhale, reverse your warrior, bringing your left fingertips down to the outside of your left leg, arcing back. Breathing here. Take an inhale, open up through your side ribs. Stay for your exhale. Inhale will draw you back up to center. And then as you exhale, bringing your right forearm to your inner right thigh, left fingertips up to the sky, or reaching out long overhead. As you inhale, pressing your forearm into your thigh as you spiral your heart open. Just breathing here for a moment, feeling the opening from the outer blade edge of your left foot all the way through your side body, reaching out through your left fingertips here. Moving from your center as you inhale, starting to come back up to a warrior two. Exhale, straighten your front leg, spin your toes. And then we'll come into a wide-legged forward fold here. So feet as wide as what feels good. You maybe have to adjust your stance. And then let everything hang heavy towards the earth. Let the crown of the head go. And if it feels good to bring a little bit of movement, you might bend in one knee and then the other. Just here for a few more breaths. And we can bring our heart above our head in this posture. And what does that actually feel and look like in our life when we can bring the heart above the head? Can prioritize a listening of the heart rather than the mind, the head. That's right, when we are in the heart, it's impossible for us to resist the flow of life. As you inhale, starting to lift up halfway, finding length in your spine. Exhale, micro bend your knees, bring your hands to your hips, and then come all the way to stand. Spinning your toes to face the front of the mat. And then we'll step our left foot to meet our right. So now we're in mountain pose, Tadasana at the top of our mat. Inhale, lifting your right knee up towards your chest. And as you exhale, we'll come into a tree pose. So bringing the inner right foot to your upper thigh, or you can come to the inside of your shin, or kickstanding your foot onto the earth. So finding your variation of tree here. And then noticing where your arms want to be, if they want to be out by your sides. Maybe bringing your hands to prayer. They can be up overhead or grabbing elbows behind your back. So just see. And your gaze is soft, focusing on one point. Your drishti, your gaze. Feeling the stability in the work of all these muscles that have to support you here. And then releasing down to the mat. Slight bend in your knees as you inhale, sweeping your arms up overhead. Exhale, hinging at your hips, folding over, forward fold, Uttanasana. Bringing your palms to your shins or your thighs. Inhale, lifting up halfway, lengthening through your spine, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, planting your hands, and we step back into plank, top of a push-up. Let's hold here just for a moment, kind of rock forward and back. Slight protraction in your shoulders and knitting in of your front ribs here. We feel into our deep core, front line here. Inhale, shifting forward. And then exhale, sending your hips up and back, downward facing dog. One nice full breath here. Exhale completely. And then our big toes will come to touch again at the back of the mat. Inhale, lifting your left heel up and back. Exhale, squaring off the pelvis here. So again, looking back, all 5 of your toes are pointed down and your toes are flexed towards your face. Inhale to lift your heel just a little bit more here. And then as you exhale, bending your knee, drawing your knee to your nose, hug, feel your core, and then planting your left foot next to your left thumb. Now we're high on the ball of our back foot. Draw your pubic bone to your navel, hug your navel to your spine. From there, inhale, sweeping your arms forward and up. We find our high crescent lunge. Exhale, drive your front knee forward. Feeling the opening along your right psoas. One more inhale here. And then exhale, we ground our back heel down, open up, warrior two. And getting our stance. Paying attention to our feet, left big toe pointing directly forward. Heel is in line with the inner arch of our right foot. Tone your low belly in and up, knitting in your front ribs like someone is tightening a corset around your rib cage. Gaze can be out over the middle finger on our left hand, drawing our shoulder blades down and back our spine. Flipping your left palm as you inhale, shift your ribs forward. Exhale, arcing it back, reverse warrior. Nice deep bend here still in your front knee. Inhale, reaching, creating length, breathing length into your left side body here. Stay for your exhale. Moving from your center, inhale brings you back up to warrior two. And then dropping on your exhale, your forearm down to your inner left thigh. Right fingertips reaching directly up towards the sky or arcing forward, reaching forward, grounding down through the blade edge of your right foot here. Using your left elbow to just slightly open up your left thigh here. Shoulders drawing down and away, broadening through your collarbone so you can spiral your heart up towards the sky. One more inhale here. And then exhale brings us back to warrior two. We can straighten our front leg and then spin our toes over towards the right. Let's take one inhale to find length. And then forward folding with your exhale. Letting everything fall down to the earth. Let the back of your neck be soft here. You can walk your hands over towards your left foot. Pause there for a moment. And then walking your fingertips over towards the right, just feeling that nice inner thigh stretch. And we'll slowly come back to center as you inhale, lifting up halfway. Exhale, bending slightly in your knees, coming all the way up to stand. And then we'll spin our toes towards the front of your mat. Right foot comes up to meet the left. We're standing in Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale, left knee coming up towards your chest. As you exhale, finding your tree pose on this side. So again, seeing what feels good. If you want to bring the sole of your foot all the way up to your inner thigh, or maybe it's on your shin, avoiding the knee joint, or maybe kickstanding your foot onto the earth, finding your expression of tree, encouraging your left knee to open up laterally, slight micro bend in your standing leg, toning your low belly in and up so you can find lift through your spine. Breathing in your expression of your tree. One more full breath in. And then with your exhale, releasing. So coming back into Tadasana, maybe you want to wiggle through your knees, kind of shaking it out here a little bit. Slight bend in your knees as you inhale, sweeping your arms up overhead, maybe looking up, gaze up, tiny back bend here. Exhale, releasing your hands down to prayer in front of your heart. Keeping your feet hip width distance, or they can be together, big toes to touch, heels slightly separate. So either way here, having your feet hips width distance will give you some more balance here as we come up onto our tippy toes. So standing on your tippy toes here, breathing, finding your balance. Shoulder heads draw back and down away from your ears. Take an inhale to lift up a little bit taller. And then as you exhale, bending your knees, and we're going to start to make our way all the way down. So taking your time here. So feeling the activation in your thighs, your legs. And we're coming all the way down. And then release your knees forward. And we're going to sit on tucked toes. We're going to release our hips down to our heels. And so you can reach around underneath and spread all of your 10 toes out. This is called fire toes. We're here only for a moment, so breathe into the intensity that can sometimes accompany this particular asana. Focusing on that breath being wide and spacious, filling the container of your body. Full exhale. And then we'll release out of that. You can come to all fours and just tapping the tops of your feet onto the earth. Yeah, letting that feel, letting that go, letting that release. And then maybe just walking yourself back so you're kind of in the middle of your mat here again in all fours position. And then keeping your hips directly over your knees, start to walk your hands forward and melt your heart towards the earth. Anahatasana, melting heart. Forehead can release down to the mat. Maybe separating your hands a bit wider to the edges of the mat to create some more space in your shoulders. And letting your heart fully release here. And then slowly starting to shift forward, coming onto your forearms, and then legs long out onto the mat. Untucking your toes if they may have been tucked, and feet can be as wide as your mat if that feels good, kind of opens the low back here. And then we're going to take our hands out a bit, like to the outside corners of the mat, untented fingers, so spider fingers here. So nice and wide, as you can maybe see here. And then tented fingers, and we're just going to let our chest release down towards the earth. We're going to wave up the spine here as you inhale, like someone's pulling on a string, lifting the back of your heart and slowly waving up your spine, lifting your gaze, but not crinking or crunching in the back of your neck. Exhale, slowly lowering down, belly button, lower ribs, sternum, heart, forehead. A few more times like that. As you inhale, press down through your fingers, wave up your spine, grounding into your pubic bone, pressing down into the tops of your feet. Maybe your kneecaps lift up, gaze looks up. And exhale, slowly lowering down, navel, rib cage, heart, forehead. One more time like that, nice and slow as you inhale, pressing down through the tops of your feet, rooting through your pubic bone, waving up your spine. And exhale, lowering down all the way. And then stacking your hands, resting your forehead on the back of your palms. Bending through your knees, stamping your feet onto the ceiling, and just windshield wiper side to side. And then releasing your toes down to the earth, tuck your toes and just start to press yourself up. We're going to release into a child's pose. So taking your knees wide to the edges of the mat, big toes come together. We'll find a child's pose here, sitting your hips onto your heels. And whatever feels good, if you want to have your hands reaching long out in front, or bringing your palms down by your sides, maybe grabbing on to the soles of your feet. And then slowly just starting to sit yourself upright. And we'll swing our ankles around, bring our sit bones down. And we'll come into fire log pose here. So stacking your right ankle on top of your left knee. Shins are parallel and stacked here. This can feel quite intense often. So this can be a great place if you have a blanket or even a cushion or even a yoga block to place it underneath your right knee, just to give yourself some elevation, some support here. And breathing into your hips, softening through your jaw. And you're welcome to stay upright, or if you'd like to slowly walk your fingertips forward and fold over your shins. And using your supports here, if you have one or even two yoga blocks, you can stack those and then use it to rest your forehead down. So in what ways can you service your body? Can you support your body? And even if it's through your breath, and especially if it's through your breath. Noticing what you notice, feel what you feel. As we slow our breathing rate down, we can come into resonance. Resonance in our physiology, in the mind-body connection. And then slowly starting to make your way out, removing any props that you might have had there. And we'll stand our knees, taking your feet wide. Just take a windshield wiper from side to side just to rinse that out through the hips before we come into the other side. So then right shin comes down and then stacking your left shin on top and avoiding directly stacking the joints here. So you don't want your heel to be like right on the right knee joint here, but somewhere where it's squishy. And then observing how one side might be different than the other. And again, reaching for your resources here. If you want to bring something underneath your left knee. And again, we can stay upright. That's a perfect place to be. Or you might also choose to walk forward and folding forward, releasing your forehead down towards the earth, or maybe making a shelf with your blocks. And there's this illusion that we create for ourselves that if we contract, so somehow if we're contracting, we're holding in our muscles in our mind, that somehow that's going to protect us. But really the magic comes in learning to release, learning to let go. And that is where we find the depth. That is where we find the levity. That is where we find and can hear the whispers of our own heart and our intuition. And then slowly starting to bring yourself all the way back up. And again, here, let's just take a rinse through our hips with a windshield wiper, dropping the knees from one side and then the other. We'll bring the soles of our feet together, knees open up wide like a book. Grabbing onto the outsides of your feet. And using your thumbs just to give the soles of your feet a little massage here. Our feet can sometimes be neglected, even though they do so much for us. And even this day that is ahead of you, your feet will undoubtedly be carrying you where you need to go. And grabbing onto the outsides of the feet as you inhale, pulling your heart through the doorway of your arms, lifting your gaze. Exhale, stay here, or just start to fold forward. As much as what feels good here. We're just here for a moment, maybe about 2 breaths. Inhaling into the back of your heart, back of your lungs. Exhale, softening forward. And one more breath. Inhale, finding length in your spine. And with your exhale, releasing it down. Inhale, waving up your spine bone by bone, stacking your shoulders over your hips. Head is the last to rise. And then as you exhale, straighten your legs out long. And we'll slowly start to come down onto our backs. And however you choose to get there, just letting yourself release all the way down. Inhale, reaching your arms long overhead. Find a nice stretch here. Good morning stretch. And then as you exhale, drawing one knee in and then the other, give yourself a little squeeze. Rock from side to side. And then separating your knees, reaching through to grab the outer blade edges of your feet. Finding happy baby. Soles of the feet can reach towards the ceiling. And I want you to pay attention to your spine here. So we want to take care that our entire spine is making contact with the mat. So your tailbone and your sacrum come down towards the earth. And if that means that you need to grab onto your ankles or maybe your outer shins instead of the blade edges of your feet, let yourself do that. Maybe take a gentle rock from side to side here. You might straighten through one leg and then the other. Just enjoying your happy baby. And then releasing your feet and let your legs go long again out onto the mat. As we start to bring ourselves into our final resting pose, our space for integration, Shavasana. And letting yourself be here, Shavasana, which is our space of integration, is so vital. It's that space where the body can catch up with the mind and the mind can come in tune with the body. And giving yourself permission just to rest here. In Shavasana, our mind plays back the entire practice that we just had. And so often we want to move quickly, going right into the next thing. And instead, what is it like just to fully release into the presence of this moment? For when you are in the heart, you have no ability to resist the flow of life. So letting go of resistance. And really savoring these final moments of your practice. And inviting the angel of air back into your body, deepening your breath, bringing in some organic movement, a gentle rock of your head from side to side, wiggling your fingers, your toes. And then reaching your arms long up overhead, find one more great big stretch, arcing through your lower back. And with your exhale, hug one knee in and then the other. Give yourself a little squeeze. And rolling over to your side of choice. And whatever side you come to, letting your bottom bicep be like a pillow and your other hand planting on the earth in front of your heart. Take an inhale into the back of your heart, back of your lungs. And as you exhale, letting it go. And slowly, in your own time and in your own way, starting to press yourself back up to a seat. Knowing that you can stay here in this space as long as you like. And we'll close our practice together. As you inhale, reaching your arms up towards the sky. Exhale, drawing your hands down in front of your heart in Anjali Mudra, prayer. And we'll seal our practice with the sound of Om. You're welcome to sing along in your own space. We'll take a cleansing breath first, so inhaling through your nose. Exhale to rinse it out. And we'll inhale for an Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om. Bringing your thumbs to third eye center, space between your brow. May I see my truth. Bringing your thumbs to your lips. May I speak my truth. Then releasing your thumbs back down to your brave and beautiful heart. May I feel my truth. And then bowing the wisdom of your mind to the knowing of your heart. The divine spark in me honors, loves, and cherishes the divine spark in each and every one of you. Thank you so much for your presence here today.